Yo, what's up, guys? Hope everyone's enjoying their holidays. Today, we're talking about the SA6 Ultra, a highly anticipated set from Dunu and the waifu king himself, Zeos. It received tons of positive feedback from reviewers and the community, wreaking havoc in the resale market and destroying the mentals of those that missed out. But before you pull out your hair from FOMO, is the Ultra overhyped? Or is it actually that good and you should get your wallet ready and pray that a pair shows up on Headfi? Yes and no. So, like most things in audio, it really depends on your library. And like most things in audio, it's complicated. But first, let's talk about the pros. So, in terms of pure detail and resolution, I think the Ultra is fairly close to the big boys I've heard. Now, the utility still does layering and microdynamics better, and the Z1R still has the best bass and treble I've heard. But that being said, they also cost 2 to 3 times more, so value-wise, the Ultra is great. The notes are crystal clear, very open and airy. The stage is expansive and has a great sense of depth, height, and width. And most importantly, the treble doesn't make the sound overly thin and artificially boosted like the Oracle Mark IIs. The Ultra is just naturally resolving and doesn't sound like someone maxed out the sharpness filter or something. Instruments are cleanly separated and imaging is very quick and precise, coming from distinct directions and doesn't just appear from a single area of the stage or blend together. I don't think it's as 3D as the EJs, but the imaging is still very engaging nonetheless. The timbre is also surprisingly natural, like I'm at a venue or something. If you gave me the Ultras blind, I wouldn't have thought it was an all BA set. Now, I wouldn't say it sounds lifelike like the Ceratus or the RS5, but there's nothing off with the timbre that I can't really complain about. Dynamics are very smooth, evenly elevated with no sudden peaks and dips, which allows the Ultra to scale pretty well, although not as good as darker IEMs like the EJs and the Dark Magicians, since there is still some sharpness from female vocals and cymbals when I really crank it up, but we're talking like 80 decibel plus here, so for most normal people, you guys will have plenty of headroom. As for the mid-range, the Ultra has a clean and relaxed signature, so instruments and vocals sit in the middle of the stage, not too forward or too recessed. It doesn't emphasize or bring any particular element of the song like to focus, but instead the Ultra lays everything at a equal distance in front of you and uses its great separation to kind of allow the listener to pick out each instrument in the song. The treble is also nicely extended and airy, like having a smooth transition from the upper mids with no sharpness or any plasticky metallic timbre. So, for example, on The Strangest Things by War on Drugs, at around the 430 mark, electric guitars and cymbals have a great balance of energy, bite, and extension without being piercing. Again, the treble isn't forward or recessed, it just sits in the middle with everything else. Now, if I were to put the Ultra on a scale, it would fall behind the U12T in terms of detail and staging, but an improvement over the variations. So we're still talking endgame levels of details at a third of the price. So yeah, it's pretty fire. As for things to watch out for, although mid-bass is clean and fast, it's not as impactful as the Z1R or even the RS5. And as for sub-bass, it's too light. I can hear it, but I don't feel the thump and rumble. It doesn't slam like a dynamic driver, which is expected from BA bass. So, for example, at the 330 mark on Time by Hikaru Utada, although everything sounds clean and correct, the Ultras just doesn't have the low-end energy and rumble to really complete the song. But it does have great speed and results in cleanly separated bass guitars, drum kicks, no muddiness, and doesn't bleed into the mids. So I can't really complain too much, but still, I personally want more of that, chest slamming, ear rumbling bass. Now, I did try the bass switch, and it does make the bass slightly more noticeable, but it doesn't do much to improve the texture or slam, so it still sounds very similar to the stock. And this is where your library dictates whether the Ultra is overhyped or a freaking banger. I personally avoid it if you primarily listen to hip hop or anything low end heavy because of the light bass. So bass heads, I'm looking at you guys. Don't even think about it. Go grab a Maestro Mini or something. And although vocals are still good in terms of pure clarity and air, it just doesn't hit the spot for me when it comes to musicality and immersion. So around the 220 and the 420 mark on the song that I'm not going to try to pronounce, but Natalia's vocals here lacks the power, texture, and the last bit of extension. It sounds light and too relaxed and not as forward as I would like them personally, making the singer sound distant and lacking that vocal intimacy in many other songs as well. So the Ultra just doesn't give me the goosebumps and immersion I get when I listen to vocals from sets like the RS5 and the original Mango T, which both are more forward and does a phenomenal job with vocal texture, power, and extension. But then again, those two are the best vocals I heard from any IEM, so kind of a high bar to clear there. Now with all that being said, I do still think the Ultra lives up to its hype when it comes to other genres like rock, jazz, classical, electronic, where its layering can really shine on songs with a more balanced focus with vocals and instruments. Overall, in terms of pure technical performance, I give the Ultra an A+, and depending on your library, the tuning can rank from an A to A+ as well, which puts it in the endgame territory for me personally. So yeah, great job Dunu and Zeos, y'all freaking did it. Just next time, don't make it a limited run, okay? Just don't do it. But other than that, I got nothing else to say. Thanks for watching and drop your thoughts below. I'll try my best to answer any questions regarding the set. I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever that is. Breakdown of rankings here, and peace.